Peace, peace, y'all. It's your girl B from B&ROSE here. Welcome to the B&ROSE Vision. This space has been activated to support the B&ROSE values, which are art, intuition, reverie, create beauty, truth and love, and most importantly, relationship to self, deepening the relationship to self through introspection, through reflection, through emotional honesty. All right, so thank you all for being here, for being in this space, for accepting my invitation, and for sharing with me your energy. While you're here, please like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff keeps creators like myself in this space. If you have any extra room on your subscribe list, add your girl, okay? Here in this space for this collective reading, tarot is being used to deepen that connection to self, to start that inner dialogue. It's more of a way of deepening the relationship to self. It's not for prediction, just to get the conversation started, all right? So in that case, take what you need, take what fits, leave what doesn't. No harm, no foul, all right? So thank y'all again for being here. I've already pre-shuffled our cards, and let's see what the collective energy is. I pray y'all are in good mind space, good health, good spirits. We are still in that beautiful full moon energy and so many other wonderful, wondrous things happening in the universe at the same time, okay? Let's see here what we have. I'm just letting the cards speak. I've already pre-shuffled off camera during my meditation, and I'm just gonna see what the collective energy currently is, what the collective is stepping on coming into this new week. And first out, we have the Wheel of Fortune, and it's in reverse. Ooh, Wheel of Fortune in reverse. All right. Followed by the Six of Cups. Interesting. Okay. Followed by the World card in the upright. Okay, so the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, Six of Cups upright, the World upright. So right now, what I'm seeing is the Wheel of Fortune is definitely that fire energy, which we're currently in this Leo season. Collective may be going through a phase of breaking a cycle, breaking some bad habits, or even just feeling like you're in a period of resistance, right? And with the Six of Cups being here, I'm seeing this resistance being something that could be internal, you know, maybe dealing with some nostalgic moments, could be something from the past that has come back to reveal itself, since we're in that full moon of revelation, of shedding light onto those shadows. The Wheel of Fortune in reverse is definitely a feeling of a negative type of phase, right? So maybe the collective, you may not be feeling too good at this moment, maybe facing some childhood wounds, some inner child trauma, or it could be some trauma from a past relationship, a past connection, whether it's familial or romantic, could be something of that nature. However, this cycle that's being broken is to your benefit, because it is a completion of a cycle and also preparing you for a new phase of life, right? It's not keeping you stuck in that mindset, because we actually have two wheels turning here with the Wheel of Fortune and the World card, right? So there, even a cycle is being broken so that a new cycle can begin. So maybe, like I said, you're having to face some wounds that may have you've not that you're pretty familiar with, maybe reminiscing, maybe not even reminiscing. This is something that you're having to go through. Maybe it's some feelings or emotions that you had not addressed, and you feel like everything has come crashing in at once, and you need to feel your feelings. You need to feel your feelings and also allow them to come to the surface so that they can be addressed, so that they can be acknowledged, because you are headed into a new phase of wholeness, of where you're going next. You won't be able to take that with you, right? After that, we have the Justice card, which is pretty much confirmation for that clarity that you are headed towards. You may be in there now. Energy is not linear, right? This may be something you are going through now, maybe something you've recently gone through, something you could be dealing with or facing in the future. But to me, these messages that are the story that the cards tell are something that we all can relate to, right? It doesn't take any type of high level esoteric knowledge to understand that we've all been through something. We've had our hearts broken. We've had life take us through the journey where things were not always easy or easy to overcome, you know, in an emotional aspect, whether it be a breakup, whether it be a disappointment from a family member, or at times that we've just disappointed ourselves. Right? So what I'm seeing here is with the Justice card revealing after the World, then yes, you are headed to that wholeness, which is balancing of your emotions, because next out we have the Chariot. You are, this is movement. And also this is that Moon card revealing itself. This is your willpower and control. Right? So this is that moment of weakness being necessary to open the way for your emotional stability, for integration, right? The lessons that you've learned, you're able to apply them. That's wisdom. You know, that's wisdom in motion. That's being courageous and not finding yourself being burdened by the past or being allowing yourself, you know, sometimes the mental factor, I've said this before, the mind can be, you know, its capability is vast, you know, depending on the thoughts we allow, the seeds we plant, then it can be a big hindrance to us. So you can't find yourself looking at the emotional work that you've done or that you're doing as a burden. See it as a period of release so that you're able to step boldly into the future, the present that the divine has already made available to you, okay? This is really good so far because you don't want to be stuck in that place of disharmony. Next out, we have the Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles is indicative of collaboration, teamwork. Now, this collaboration could be with a new venture or, you know, something that will definitely be towards something fruitful, but it could also mean that you're building something more substantial emotionally. You are taking control by allowing yourself by admitting that you've been hurt and allowing yourself to feel those feelings. Once again, I don't want to be repetitive. I'm trying not to do that. That's where I lose myself. You know what I mean? But there's also a confirmation that the message is hitting home and that it is absolutely clear. Okay. Because that's what we're getting here with this, with that Justice card showing up saying, you know, this is true. This is the cause and effect. So be patient. I can speak clearly. Be patient. Consider your long-term view, your long-term effort that you've been putting into your diligence, your sustainability, and continue. Okay. Let's see here what comes out next. The bottom of the deck, we have the Hangman, of changing your perspective, of allowing yourself the opportunity to pause, right? To surrender, to be able to view things differently, you know, not see, like I said, relieving yourself of the burden of maybe emotions. Maybe you're the type of person who likes to suppress how you feel because, you know, for whatever reason, you feel like it hasn't been useful to you, or, you know, all the lies that we tell ourselves that cause us to delineate or to kind of ignore our own needs, whether we're becoming distracted by things that are insignificant, right? Just to keep ourselves busy, keep ourselves focused outward versus dealing with what's happening in. But that Wheel of Fortune in reverse is ultimately saying, you know, the ebb and flow of life, that when there's up, there will be down, right? There will be moments that you can't control. You know, something could happen and it'll force you into feeling those emotions come crashing in on us. And we have to face them because that's just where the divine has placed us in that moment. And what's the outcome of it is beneficial for our health, our mental health, our physical health. Is beneficial to our success, our overall success. You know how it is sometimes when you need that good cry, you know, that good old ugly cry, where, you know, you're just like, oh, I feel so weak, I feel so broken, I feel so tender and just emotionally fragile, given whatever the situation may be. And you just have to face it. You know, you have to admit that this hurts, this doesn't feel good. And with that, you're able to accept the truth. You know, the present sometimes is so sobering because it forces us in a healthy way to accept the truth, to be present in where we are, to allow ourselves the opportunity to integrate, to learn, to put in practice what we've learned from heartbreak and overcoming heartbreak. You know, I'm sure you've been there before. I've been there before. We've all been there before, right? So let's get some of the Moon Oracle cards here, since we are still in that full moon energy. Let's see here what message the Oracle has for us, okay? Let's see here. Let's do one more shuffle. All right. We have luck is on your side at the bottom of the deck. Let's see here. Because prosperity lies ahead. Prosperity lies ahead. Adjustments are required in this time of healing, okay? Adjustments are required is that changing, that surrendering, that change in perspective, right? Whether you are able to build, collaborate, or implement, that to me goes back to the integration that we saw with the Chariot being here, of that movement, of moving towards that which will benefit you emotionally, all right? So I'm gonna leave it here so that I'm not being repetitive, and I'll talk to y'all soon, all right? Leave me a comment if this resonates. I'm gonna work on whatever's happening with the lighting here. I'm still figuring this out. Listen, I appreciate you all for being here, for accepting my invitation. This page is still in its beginning stages, and I would love for you all to stick around to see what it becomes. Even I'm excited to see what it becomes, okay? A blank canvas has been something I said earlier, and I thought about that, and that is definitely the mode, okay, of having your arms open wide to receive as generously as you give, okay? All right, so take that with you as well, heading into this weekend and into this new week. All right, peace. Get out of here.